Hi, this is Adrian from Live to Learn Academy, and today we will be going over lesson 2.1 in the Nelson Advanced Functions textbook labeled Determining the Average Rate of Change. Now, if you are somebody who is interested in tutoring, feel free to click the link in our description, and our tutors will get back to you as soon as possible and talk to you about our legacy program that we offer at Live to Learn Academy. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, average rate of change. Now, average rate of change is known as, and you may see this terminology a lot, AROC, which is really just an acronym for average rate of change. Now, in my personal opinion, guys, this is literally the easiest marks you're going to get. So I want to challenge you anytime you get an average rate of change question in your course, on a test, on a quiz, on an assignment, you have to get full marks for this, okay? It's very, very easy. So first of all, we need to understand what is average rate of change. Now, in this lesson, we'll be covering average rate of change. In the next lesson, we'll actually be covering instantaneous rate of change. So they're two of the same thing. They're very similar, but also very different. So average rate of change is like this. Let's say I have a graph. And let's say, I don't know, I'm just making this up. Let's say the graph looks like this. Let's say this is at 1 and this is at 3. Okay? If I want to find the average rate of change, it will always give me 2 points. Okay? Average rate of change will always give me 2 points. Hence the word average. Average needs more than 1 point in order for you to solve it. So what we need to do is we need to draw a line from here, from this point to this point. And all the average rate of change is the slope of this line. So sometimes people call it the slope of a line between 2 points. Sometimes people call it the secant. So that's the mathematical terminology for the average rate of change, the secant. So how do we find the slope of this line? So one way is we actually got to do the rise over the run. The rise over the run of the slope is the secant. Now, if we actually get the points, it actually becomes really easy because we know from grade 9, slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if they gave me the points, let's say this was 1, 2, and let's say this was 3, 5, I know that I can just do 5 minus 2 over 3 minus 1, which is 3 over 2. And this right here would be my AROC, or my average rate of change. So this is one type of question. They may actually give it to you graphically. Okay? When they give it to you graphically, you're pretty much just solving for the slope of the line, and the way you do that is you can plug it into this formula, or you can either do the rise over run in order to find the slope if they give you the graph. Now mind you, this is if they give you the graph. The second type of question you will get when it comes to average rate of change is how to solve it algebraically. So these questions are formulated slightly different. So for example, they may give you a function. They may say f at x is equal to 4x squared minus 5x plus 1. And it will say, find the average rate of change on the interval 2 to 4. So they're basically saying from 2 to 4, what is the average rate of change? So the way we do this is we want to plug this into a formula. F at x2 minus f at x1 over x2 minus x1. So this is just, it's literally, guys, just a fancy way of saying rise over run, right? So remember, we know that f at x2 is just y2 and f at x1 is just y1. But in the textbook, you'll see it labeled as this. And I actually like this notation a little bit better because they actually gave us the f at x. The question is, what is x2 and what is x1? x2 is the second thing, the second number, and x1 is the first number. So let's look at this. The way I like to do this is I kind of like doing everything separately. So I'll first find f at x2, which is f at 4, which is 4 squared minus 5 times 4 plus 1. All I did was I plugged in that number into this equation. And then I'm just going to simplify. So 4 times 4 squared, so that's 16 times 4. 16 times 4 minus 20 plus 1. So you get 45. And then I'll do f at x1, which is f at 2. So 4, so I'm plugging it back into the original equation. So you get 4 times 4 minus 10 plus 1. You get 7. So now what I can do is I can say 45 minus 7 over 4 minus 2, which is 38 over 2, which is 19. So this would be my average rate of change. So anytime you guys get a question, an algebraic question where they give you the function and they tell you find the AROC, you're literally, first you identify what is x1 and what is x2. That's the first thing you have to do. The second thing, you actually got to plug that into this equation. Now the only reason I did this over here is because I'm trying to be neat. I'm just doing this stuff separately to try and be neat because I don't want to put this whole big equation into here and this whole big equation into here. Otherwise, my work's going to become messy and it's not going to be neat. Instead, because I was neat, my 45 and my 7 just get plopped in straight like that. And then my 2 and my 4 just get plopped in straight like that. And then I'm able to solve pretty efficiently. So these are the two main types of questions you're going to get when it comes to average rate of change. There should be no reason why you guys don't get full marks on these questions. It's literally free marks. So what you need to know, average rate of change talks about the slope or the secant between 2 points. So make a note of that. It's always between 2 points, because in the next lesson what we're going to do is the instantaneous rate of change, which is between 1 point. So average rate of change is between 2 points. And there's two types of questions. You'll either get it graphically, where you can actually just solve the slope by using a ruler and finding the rise over run, if it's on graph paper that is, or you just find the slope like this. And then algebraically, when they actually give you the equation and they give you the interval. So this right here is the interval. In average rate of change questions, they're always going to give you an interval. The interval isn't there there to confuse you. The interval is literally there to tell you what that x2 and x1 is. So if you found this video helpful, guys, drop a thumbs up. If you need tutoring, feel free to click the link in our description, and I'll see you guys in the next video.